Hello, Be Awesome listeners. This is episode 43, and I have a guest. I actually have two guests. The first guest, you guys all know because he's been in 10% of these. This is his fourth time joining, CEO of Dude Solutions and friend Ed Roshitsh. Welcome, Ed. Welcome back. And sitting next to him is new friend and awesome person, Andrew Appleton. And welcome, Andrew. So
good to be here.
This is a really cool meeting for you guys. First of all, Ed, you and I have a good level of comfort here on the mic, so we're going to completely freewheel this thing. And Andrew, you're the new guy, so we're going to probably haze you a little bit.
Yep, got to get a tattoo.
Yeah, got to get
a dude tattoo.
Dude tattoo. But the backstory on this that we're going to talk about is, Ed, you did something really, really cool. Probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in leveraging social media. And you know I'm not a big social media fan. But the Saturday after Thanksgiving, you're still in a turkey coma, and you came up with an idea. What was it?
Well, it was an accidental good idea as the story sort of pans out. So every year I try to do some charity work for veterans. I'm a veteran. It's a group of people that I have an affinity to and care for. And so Thanksgiving hit, and I was thinking to myself, wow, I haven't done anything this year to give back to the military community. I usually do it in association with a big run or a race of some sort. So Saturday rolls around, I'm like, well, no races, I can raise money. Well, why don't I just get on LinkedIn and send a little message out. Hey, anybody know any military folks that need a trip home for the holidays? I'm happy to personally shell out some cash for 5 tickets. Just send me the names and I'll get you squared up. And so that's what started this whole thing.
Yeah. And I saw it, I think, late Saturday, and I messaged you and I said, what a great thing. I said, but you're going to have a long list of people that submit, and you only had a handful of people that viewed it.
So the trail of this was, I think I lit the LinkedIn post up around noon on Saturday, and then about noon on Sunday, my wife and I are sort of sitting there, and she's like, hey, what happened so far? And I was like, crickets. I've gotten a few likes and, hey, cool ideas, etc., but nothing really happened. And so I actually got on the post and edited it and said, hey, I'm going to extend an extra day just in case folks need an extra day to find some people. Thinking, this will be pretty embarrassing if I can't give away five airline tickets. And so I went to bed on Sunday night, and I woke up Monday morning, and the thing just took off virally. And as it continued, I don't want to tell the whole story because I'm sure you got some questions. We'll deal with Andrew in here as well. But like by the time the whole thing lit up, it went crazy as far as number of people seeing it and all that.
Yeah, I got an alert because I liked it, and I got alert sometime. I think it was either late Sunday, maybe early Monday. That actually a podcast guest of Be Awesome, Les Trackman, had put the first comment. You only had a handful of likes, and you had his comment, and he said, "I'll put in." Yeah, for an extra ticket, so you were up to 6.
Yeah,
but still no takers.
Nobody to get
so 6 tickets for nobody is not a good place to be. And so somewhere around Monday, it started to uptick, and people started to share it, and people were commenting. I mean, how many likes and comments and shares and views?
By the time it got done, we were up near 300,000 views, 1,600 shares. Tens of thousands of likes. We had an additional 60-ish ticket donations. People I'd never even met, connected on LinkedIn or what have you. Some were a few people I knew through the years, but this was a groundswell of donators. And then lots of people started submitting names, and it was crazy because I literally was writing names down on a pad. I think I still have some of the notepads and things I was using. I just couldn't keep up. I guess I should have used electronics or something like that to make this thing work. But it wasn't until Wednesday where Wednesday of that week, following the Saturday, things went totally nuts because a couple of the local news affiliates picked up.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And then, which I learned a lot about this whole process. The local news affiliates then, I guess, library these for all other sort of network affiliates in their network. So I'll make it up: CBS News, Fox News. They all share. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I started getting screenshots or TV shots from people all over the country. Hey, dude, I know you. I saw you on TV. I'm like, are you in Raleigh? No, I'm in Los Angeles, or I'm in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And so then the following week, I had to get eye surgery, and I had to go home and recover. And I'm sitting there at my dining room table doing some work. Actually, I was probably talking to Andrew, which we'll deal him into the story here in a little bit. But on CNN headline news, HLN, I heard my voice. I'm like watching TV on national news, and they ran the story 4 times, and then again we got another big surge of people. Yeah. So
I can't imagine, you're a busy guy. We've talked about all the things you do and everything that's going on in past episodes, but I can't imagine when this thing started to snowball where you weren't like, oh shoot, like the first feeling's got to be like, now I'm getting all these people that are submitting, and I've got 6 or 7 takers on that are willing, and then all of a sudden 2, you have all these other people that want to donate tickets, but the legwork is going to be extreme, and that's where we're going to bring this guy in. We're going to bring him in with his cape on.
Totally.
So, like, Andrew, you're sitting in Washington D.C.
Yep.
And you've never met any of us. You don't know us from Eve. You're just on LinkedIn some morning. You see this whole thing happen, and you have a business in travel. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and I want to dig right into this because this is
absolutely
amazing.
Yeah, an amazing journey. I mean, I saw Ed's link, probably your original link. I'm giving away 5 tickets to active duty. So back in 2005, I started one of the first military online travel sites, mainly for active duty, to be able to book an airline ticket and take advantage of military discounts. So kind of a really niche market. Nobody had really stepped into that place, and really today nobody still has. And so it's one area. I'm a Marine veteran, and so it helps me give back. We hire active duty spouses and veterans as travel agents, and so that gives them the opportunity. A lot of people don't know that active duty spouses move a lot. They move with that active duty member. So finding a sustainable job is really difficult. So being a home-based travel agent is something that they can do no matter where they go. And so that's how I got into the travel business. And so I'm used to working with that. So when I saw Ed's post, I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. I can help this guy, this dude, book these tickets, these 5 tickets.
A dude, by the way, who had no idea what he just opened the door on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Pandora's box of just...
Without Andrew's help, I would have probably managed to get nobody where they were supposed to go.
Because after like 10 tickets, I'm like, how is this guy going to do this?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume you were going to go to Expedia. I mean, I'm not sure.
I don't think there was a plan. I don't think that. I think there was probably that part feeling of like, I don't even have 1, let alone 6 people to book, so I don't need to worry about anything yet. And then I think from the time that it went from 0 to 60 was such a small amount of time that there was an uh-oh moment. But that was where you came in, that I was just really, I thought that there was something up, because you put a post right directly on the public that said, I will take care of all of your travel needs. And I'm like, oh, here's a guy that's looking to make a buck and do something. And LinkedIn is notorious for people that are trying to take advantage of a situation or trying to sell on it. But you did this for free.
Yeah, we did it. I mean, there were a few little perks we got through the process, but we didn't charge the active duty person, we didn't charge Ed, we didn't charge the sponsors. Definitely was a huge learning curve, I think, for Ed and I both. But one of the cool things is Ed really trusted me from the get-go. And to your point, there's probably a lot of scams on LinkedIn and other social media, and I'm not sure what made that connection. But it was definitely there, and I want to say it was, I was genuine.
Oh, out of the gate.
Yeah. There was nothing in it for me necessarily outside of, continuing my mission to help the military community.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one way to do it. But then once we got into it, and I said, Ed, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to do this. You're going to get this spreadsheet, and you're going to see it, and you're going to mark it. I'm going to send you payment links. And so really quickly we had a system.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's like we've been working together for 20 years and literally hadn't met him. I think at some point, maybe the first 1 or 2 days, we had a phone call just to, hey, how are you? Who are you? type of thing. But we literally were finishing each other's thoughts as we were processing tickets, and the whole thing, it just went crazy good.
And it was 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would wake up at 4.
Yeah.
I'm an early riser, so Ed is an early riser, and he's already on LinkedIn, or I'm already. And that whole 2 to 3 weeks, I'm like, this is the CEO of this major company,
Mm-hmm.
and he's responding to every message I send him on tickets. And at the end of the day, I said, hey, Ed, I'm really confident in what I do, but this really amazed me.
Mm-hmm.
We had very few hiccups.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was so smooth.
It was so smooth. And even when we ran into, I don't know what else to call it, sort of challenging tickets or problem situations, it was instant. Like, hey, how do you? I think we should probably handle it this way. What do you think? Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was following along, and I talked to you. I think I spoke with you when I was in Phoenix or Scottsdale for the first time, and I was talking to you about this whole experience and kind of all the stuff that you were doing, and I had no idea the scope of and the level of it, because like you say, I didn't know if you were going to do Expedia or what you were going to do, but the amount of work that was entailed and the following and the tracking that you did of the passengers, far beyond, absolutely, like you was getting alerted when they were getting on the plane, and people were sending text messages and everything else. Mm-hmm. The thing that I'm absolutely amazed at is neither of you have met in person until today.
Yep.
That you had this bond and this trust. I mean, we're talking about, so just to put into perspective for people that didn't follow this program along in this effort, this wasn't people that were in Dover Air Force Base that were flying to Charlotte. These are people that are flying from Germany, South Korea, Japan, all over Italy, all over the world, flying home for the holidays. These were expensive tickets. They were short notice tickets. I mean, you guys were booking these tickets in some cases under the 2-week notice, and the trust that you had to entail with the people that were committing to paying for tickets, because long story short, you had 64 names and you found 64 donors, or you found 58, 59 donors from subtract the 5 that you had.
Yeah.
So 59 donors in your 5 tickets. You fulfilled 100% of the people that submitted their name to do this.
Yep.
That is amazing. Like there's no anything other than how do you do that, and now how do you do it again?
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, I think, and I'd love Andrew to chime in for sure on this, one of the most gratifying things is we actually got to start calling these people by their first names.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, his wife, Christy, needs to figure out a way to get a ticket too. And you actually got intimately aware of their personal situation. The dad's going to pick this guy up at the airport, that type of thing. So that was really gratifying. And then just to hear some of the personal stories of, wow, he hasn't been home in 3 years. You price a ticket from South Korea, they're like $3,000 a pop. There's no way a guy making 15, 16 grand a year at an E1 salary can afford that.
Well, let's talk about the greatest gift of all that you guys provided. And I'm gonna try not to have allergies, as Ed says in here, but these submissions, there was one in particular that was someone from Germany, a soldier in Germany, that had his wife at home. I think, was it in Minnesota? I can't remember where she was living. That was getting ready to give birth to their first child.
Yeah, I hear those stories, fortunately, daily. It's unfortunate that the stories have to exist, but being able to communicate with them, like Ed said, through text, through phone call. A lot of them in Germany, it's a different time zone, and so I would get calls at awkward times. And the one thing about the military community, and we're both from it, you take care of each other. We've got each other's back, and they're not ashamed to share their story or their tears, and yeah, it's very gratifying. And I kept telling Ed on LinkedIn, I'm like, you're not going to believe the story I just heard.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe who I just talked to.
Yeah.
And so to know someone's going to be able to go home to see the birth of their child, or someone coming home that mom has not seen in 3 years. And a lot of the listeners may not know, but you don't get that much leave as an active duty member, especially when you're deployed. And with the fluidity of our situation today in our world, leave can be canceled at the last minute. And so we still are working with some of the same clients, like the South Korea. There's a Germany ticket that I'm still communicating with actually yesterday, because their leave did get canceled. And so because we booked it military, we're able to change that. And with no additional cost to Ed or the sponsor, we work with the airline to do that.
I think that the gifts that you gave these people, I think that I did an episode with Mr. P, the anonymous Silver Dollar Club that does things, and he made a reference of a comment of, people always think that what we give to people is the gift, but what they get and what we get in return from it is the true gift. And when I read the blog, was it a blog or something that you put?
Well, so we put together I was like, I've got to get these people to be able to thank Ed.
Yeah.
And so I found this website, this Kudo board.
Yeah.
Kudoboard.com.
Yeah. That's what it was.
It was just perfect. And so I sent it out. I didn't want Ed to know, because Ed actually, you were saying earlier that our minds just clicked. So on the same day I was doing it, he said, "Oh, we should reach out to some of these people and get some pictures." I was like, Ed, just shut up. So I sent that link out to all the families, and I want to say the majority of them.
Oh, there was a lot, yeah.
That thing is long with pictures, testimonials.
Yep. There's like 35 posts there, I think.
The sonogram of the baby is on there. And when I saw that, I was like, what is that picture? And that was that individual you were talking about coming home for the birth. Yeah. They had posted that sonogram.
That's amazing stuff. Have you heard from them?
So I actually have a mailing list of 59. Although we did 64 tickets, we have 59 emails that I do communicate with.
That's
we
awesome.
sent out a Christmas holiday card. I sent it out on behalf of Ed and myself to all of them, again thanking them, and added the Kudo board to that. So I still keep in communication. They follow us on LinkedIn. A lot of them have connected.
That is cool. That is just amazing stuff. So this happens, the holidays happen.
Yep.
And in true Ed fashion, you're not done.
No, we're not done. So it was such a positive experience that you really could equate, what you're doing with a real tangible outcome. And it wasn't like writing a check to like a big philanthropic organization and maybe your money gets to where it's supposed to go at 100%. You actually were getting Jack or Jill home to meet their family after a long period of time. So what I decided to do is to light up a 501c3 called Holidays for Heroes. We have all the paperwork and banking and all of the filings done. I need to get busy on the website. I need to conspire with my friend Andrew here on how we need to make this thing work. Goal would be to at least get 100 home this year.
That's a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys are going to do it. I think I want to touch one thing. You didn't have a 501c3. No. Andrew's not a 501c3. These people that you have in your network or out of your network that just, because there's people that you don't even know that just said, hey, I want to buy a ticket.
They saw my post and donated a ticket.
They just got a bill from Andrew
Yep.
to pay for the ticket with the person's name and where they were starting and where they were ending. And there was no tax benefit to this. There was no, tax deduction, whatever you want to say. These people did this. They went into their pocket because they emotionally were tied and invested in this thing to do something great. And that was the really powerful thing for me to watch and see and hear. And we walked around today, around the office, which there were people in this office that actually put skin in the game. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting when Andrew introduced himself and someone would say, oh yeah, no, I'm so glad I got to meet you because
that's so cool.
I got one of the tickets and they were involved in it. So it's really cool. Have you thought about if you're going to do the same way? Basically sponsor an active military. Or how's that going to work?
Yeah. So where I'm at right now is to try to formalize the accident that happened last year that led to all of this. I think one of the change, like I would prefer, but we'll take it any way it comes. I'd prefer to be able to match up donor Peach to military active duty person, and create a tight bond there. However, a lot of folks, hey, some of these tickets, some were $300, but some of them were like $3,000. And so a lot of the donors asked for like a donate. Hey, I got $50 I can help with. Can you do a donate now? So I think that part of the new website and part of the reason I lit up a 501c3 is so we can legitimately collect money and then bundle money and, hey, 10 people were able to get, Soldier Jack home type of thing.
This is great. I can't wait to see. Do you have a name for a 501c3?
Holidays for Heroes.
Holidays for Heroes. So it's holidaysforheroes.org because it's a
holidaysfortheheroes.org when it comes up. Holidays for Heroes has been taken, but I was able to get it as a business name. So.
Do you try to buy that domain? Is there something on it?
The American Red Cross probably would have a challenge giving me it. So
I think we could make a phone call for this. help the little guy out that's trying to do something different here. That's who owns that?
Yep.
So Holidays for the Heroes. Holidays for the Heroes.
But you'll get a under construction at the moment.
Yep.
I have a Squarespace for Dummies book on my desk, and I'm going to try to figure that out or hire somebody.
Yeah, let me know when you're done because I've had a Squarespace for 10 months and haven't gotten past the homepage.
I think what I'm going to do is ask at some point here in the next 60 days on LinkedIn, anybody willing to do a little bit of pro bono work to help me set up the website. It's going to be a simple website, a little bit about the story, probably some connect points for donation, and maybe something that dumps names or things into a spreadsheet for Andrew type of thing.
Yeah, and the Kudo board.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Is the Kudo board just for veteran stuff, or is it for anything?
So it's ironic that from that, I met the owner of that company.
Of Kudo board.
And said, hey, this is pretty cool. And Kudo, if you don't know in the military, is a common term like, hey, kudos, good job.
Congratulations.
Kudos to you, congratulations. Yeah. So he has allowed me to use military.kudoboard.com. And so I'm using that now with veterans, boot camp graduations, events like Ed's, free of charge. So there's no charge for these people to make a Kudo board based upon some kind of celebration or thank you. So yeah, I'd love to tie that in there and make it more, because it's one way that that Kudo board you can print out, you can share it on Facebook, you can do a PowerPoint presentation. So there are a lot of cool things that you can do to share that story, and then you can get, people to contribute to. So grandma, granddad, sister, brother, all put it on there. So yeah, definitely the Kudo board. And one of the things I'll have to nudge Ed, because I know the holiday seems like a long time away, but
it's right here before you know it.
Right. So getting that process, we have a really good travel tool that we use for this, and we'll use it again. And we're ready to dedicate 2 or 3 weeks of really hard work. But starting early will really help us.
Yeah, get good rates too. With the flights right now are pretty darn cheap if you can plan it. That's a story for another day.
Well, now you think about it, travel from Europe being banned as we speak. Hopefully this thing blows through pretty fast and we don't have the inability to get some folks home.
Right. Well, I got to tell you, I am so excited to see the next chapter of this. Your coming together the way that you have and watching it as a spectator has got to be one of the coolest things from a human perspective, because you just don't see relationships just being built so simplistically and such an amazing amount of trust and having everything go so smoothly. We're talking more than tens of thousands of dollars I know you well enough, Ed, that if all 59 of those people dropped out, you would have figured out how to pay for all those people that were committed to.
Yep.
And Andrew putting the trust in, if at times probably putting his own credit card on the line to book a ticket.
Yeah, I remember the first we did that. I said, Ed, hey, this ticket's kind of expensive. What do you want to do with it? And he's like, I'll pay for it. And so I need your credit card.
That first leap of faith, and it might have even been a South Korea ticket. It was like $2,700 or something like that. It's like, all right, this guy randomly answered a LinkedIn post. Seems pretty helpful.
Yeah.
Here's my number, and here's the CVV code, and it was one of those moments where you're like,
I promise to tear up the number as soon as I'm done using it for all the stuff I need to use it for.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's another aspect. One of the other sort of coolest things that happened, I believe, and Andrew believes, 100% of the people that were involved were legit. We didn't get scammed by anybody. There was a one or two on the donation side that were a little bit sketchy, but I think we managed to get through this sort of accidentally without any sort of shenanigans from anybody.
Almost completely unscathed. Well, this is great. Well, I'm glad you guys got to meet each other here today. I'm glad I got to have you on the podcast. I know it's not much, but I'm going to put a 30-second spot on every podcast moving forward, promoting you guys, and I'm going to promote you everywhere I go, because I think that this is just an absolutely outstanding effort. I think your description of our active military, what they do every day, day in and day out, and the money that they don't make, that would prohibit. We're talking about 10, 20, 30% of their entire take-home pay would come out for them to fly home for the holidays, and many of them don't have family. I read some of the notes that some of the parents were writing that said, we would never be able to afford to either go see them or them come see us. So you're providing a never I can think of 50 years from now where this soldier is going to be sitting with their grandkids and saying, you know what, when I was active military and I didn't think anybody really appreciated what I did while I was in Germany or Italy or South Korea or Japan or any of these places, a world away from home, someone just put a post for no reason other than to do something good, and then 59 other people stepped up, did something good too, and 63 of my brothers and sisters and me got to go home for the holidays, got to see a baby born, got to see a family member that they didn't get to see for 3 years, got to see a family member that they weren't going to be able to see for the next 2 years because they were going to be out on a ship. All these stories, just amazing what you guys were able to accomplish. So congratulations on your friendship. You just don't see this. You don't see natural, genuine, great relationships being forged from a post on LinkedIn or any social media that go this smoothly. And I got you back. I can't wait to see what this next chapter is. Andrew, if anybody wants to actually pay you to do a job, because you do have to make money at the end of the day, what is it that you do and how can they get a hold of you?
Good question, Josh. So we do work with the military community. I think one of the big things is working with companies to help with their travel, because that helps me hire more veterans and active duty spouses. So we do have a website, travelagent360.us.
Okay.
And if you're a corporation or an individual that does a lot of travel, we would love, or put events, conferences, workshops. That helps me hire more people. And I think, bar none, that's really my 2020 goal, is to hire at least 10 more veterans or active duty spouses. And if you are active duty, I'd encourage you to contact us. You still use that same website, and let us give you those military savings.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're buying the ticket yourself, let us at least try to help you save some money.
Mm-hmm. And you're helping people even that aren't buying plane tickets through you on these Facebook pages you were telling me about, and some of these other. Where can they see some of that? Where can they go to that, or where do they need to?
So one community that we're really focusing on are parents that attend boot camp graduations. And so our Facebook site or page is Recruit Graduation. And
all one word or two? Recruit,
2 words.
Recruit graduation. Okay.
And we have 5 private Facebook groups, one for each branch. And our Navy one just went over 600 users today, which was, we really just started it 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And so with the virus, Navy's graduation got canceled. We've really started to build a relationship. And so definitely in the travel industry, this has really been a big damper, on travel agencies and the travel industry. So this has given us an opportunity to ignore the profit part of it and actually work with these families. And so if you are a parent, a family member, someone involved, with a recruit, come join our group and learn more about that military journey.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to publish this today, and the Navy graduation commencement hasn't been canceled. The portion that's been canceled is people can't go to attend. You're doing a streaming.
Correct. Yeah. So it's tomorrow, 8:40 Central Time.
So Friday. Yep.
It's every Friday. So we have invited all the families to our Facebook page, Recruit Graduation, in our Navy group, and we're going to live stream the graduation.
That is so cool.
As a family. And so they can comment, and so I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous about technology, but
I think you're doing all right with it.
But we're doing all right. So, and we're going to do that every Friday. Air Force, theirs was same situation. Marine Corps is still going strong. Army's still going. Coast Guard's still going. So I'm really hoping, because these family members aren't able to go to these graduations, and it's a huge event.
It's a big deal.
It's like college graduation. It's like getting your first career job. And people really underestimate the power and the emotion that goes into your loved one going to boot camp.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge, huge deal. And so I'm just humbled to be part of it. I mean, it's just an incredible... I don't want to talk about business, but I don't even think of the business side of it, because right now there's no travel. And it's all about building community, building relationships. And you had an earlier guest on talking about purpose and meaning and identity. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think you do all right with the profit, Andrew. I really think that you do all right because you put that not first. I think that you do the right things for the right reasons at the right time, at all the time. And I think you're doing that. In essence, all of this work gives you the feel good, it gives the help for others, and I think it gives the trust. I don't know anybody that wouldn't trust to work with you from a profit standpoint and want to be doing it knowing that you profit. So, there needs to be more of that and less of the BS pushing boxes and trying to sell people and blow people over. You're a breath of fresh air on LinkedIn and just in general. So, keep doing what you're doing. I'm in your corner. I know Ed's in your corner. I'm sure you got a ton of people in your corner to see that you're successful. So much success. We'll get your website. We'll get all your stuff out there. And I'm going to watch. I'm actually going to watch the Navy. I think I told you, a friend of mine's son actually. I shared with the world a post on LinkedIn last year. Nick Rosati, a great kid, graduated high school last year. Started a reconditioning company, and he decided to join the Navy, and he's graduating, I think, either this week or next week. So I'm going to join that group if that's all right, and I'm going to watch it. I'm going to stream along with it. So, hey guys, Ed, you got to get back to work. You got a
little situation going on.
You got a full day. You got a full day ahead of you at 3 p.m. So, really appreciate you making the time and doing these great things that you do, and not just like you said before. It's not about writing a check. The Be Awesome shirts, it's not about giving money. It's about getting people involved. It's about getting people engaged. It's about educating people. I had no idea before this the lack of funds, and I just figured the military flew them someplace. They can fly them home for holidays or for baby births or any of the stuff. Ignorance, pure ignorance. And I learned a lot through this whole thing. So thank you for opening my eyes. Andrew, thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Flying down on your own nickel for the day to be with us and get to meet you in person. Really excited to see. I think you're going to break 100. I don't want to put it out there right now. I think you're going to break 100. I think you're going to have a ton of people that are going to support you. I bet all 59 supporters come back in 2020 for you, and they tell their friends. So much success with this nonprofit, and I'll look forward to running that ad that I'm going to make with you guys here in the near future. So in the meantime, if you can be anything, be awesome. I haven't had any podcasts here for a little bit. It's been crazy. I'm going to give you a quick 1 minute public service announcement on me. I have had the wildest 3 months of my life, and have kind of stepped away from the podcast world. But I'm back. I'm going to get back on track with it. I've got a couple that are going to come out back to back to back, and we're going to do more. It's no lack of awesome people, just been a lack of time available. If you want to buy a shirt, we're going to be giving 100% of all of the profits of the shirts moving forward to the Fort DuPont Ice Arena. I'm going to have some more information on what we're doing and how we're doing that as I get with Ty Newberry, who's the executive director there. But it's a great place in Washington, D.C., only full-size hockey rink in all of Washington, D.C., and they service 3,000 kids going through their free figure speed and hockey, and they're in a food desert. So we're going to do something to try to make sure that we provide even more opportunity for them to have food, nutrition for them when they're coming in the door and when they're going out to go home. So in the meantime, we will talk to you soon. Actually going to be another podcast released probably in the next couple of days, so you'll have two to listen to get caught up. Ed, you might be like my sidekick coming up here pretty soon if you come on too many more of these things, but I appreciate you always making the time to sit in on these. These are always some of the best ones that we do. So
thanks for having us, both Andrew and I, on this one. Thanks.
Yep, thank you, and thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Josh.
Bye. Thanks. Have a great day.